Welcome to the Wellfuel Podcast, your spot for everything gut health, detox, hormones, a healthy home, mold, and everything in between. I'm your host, Isabel Smith. I'm an integrative and functional registered dietitian and the founder of Isabel Smith Nutrition. Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Wellfuel Podcast. This is Isabel, and I'm your host. And today I'm here with a very special friend of mine. Her name is Chandler Palmer. Chandler is a really special lady, and we're going to have a really amazing conversation about body and clothing. But I want to tell you who Chandler is. Chandler is a coach, an educator, and a movement igniter. She activates women to tap into the depths of their desires and enter a journey to create lifelong confidence, fulfillment, and riches. Chandler specializes in coaching women to dig deep in finding their most confident version of themselves and then enter a journey towards stepping into the role of CEO. In short, Chandler helps women to take over the world and their world. Say goodbye to a life that always feels like it's missing something, says Chandler, and say goodbye to a life that feels like anything short of I am the baddest you know what in the room. So Chandler, welcome. I'm so happy to have you.
Yay! Thanks for having me here. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm also really excited. I've been looking forward to this all day. So thank you. This is a really special place. So let's do it.
So Chandler and I are in a mastermind together. I've known her sister. Chandler's sister is Tansy, who you guys see all the time on me just like blowing them both up on social media. And energetically, being in a room with Chandler is just, she's so like warm and sparkly and powerful and like so incredible. So I want to share some of that here with you. And I mean it. She and I were sitting in this room in March, in Arizona. And, you guys have watched me with my like own body stuff and body image stuff and, changing my body size all through my healing journey. And so she and I sat in on this conversation about the purpose of clothes and clothing. And I just watched Chandler's like whole world open up when, Chandler, you have such an innate love of like clothing and fashion. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did that start? Like, when did this all begin for you?
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you were to like look at pictures of me as a little girl, like I'm always wearing something super girly. It's just who I've always been. I remember crying when my mom would tell me I needed to wear pants because I just wanted to wear dresses all the time. So I've been the girly girl my entire life. The craziest thing is, and this is what I teach to the people that come into my world, is I never realized how much just that little part of me could have been my superpower all along until recently. So with that being said, when I was in high school, I would put out my outfits the night before. Like I'm just painting the picture of how important it is for me to feel good in what I'm wearing. Yeah. I would put my outfits out the night before. I would ask my parents, does this look good? And I would wear it to school the next day. Every single night I was dressing up for school. And when I wanted to wear sweatpants, I even made sure like the sweatpants were kind of cute. So I have to say that I was never a skinny girl. Also, I'm really tall. I'm 5'10", and I feel like I've been 5'10" since the 5th grade. So it's not like I've had this perfect body to dress my entire life. But when I look back and I envision when I feel really good about myself, because that's all we really want. We just want to feel good. Like I just wanted to wake up with energy and feel like I'm excited for this, whatever that is in front of me. And in those moments, I'm always excited about what I'm going to wear. And what's funny is, like before we even pressed record on this, we were talking about our next retreat, and I'm already thinking about my outfits. Like it is my safe haven. It is what I think about. It's what lights me up. It's what allows me to feel excited about the little things. And I think as adults, we miss out on that. Like when you're a kid, you're excited about everything. And then when we're adults, we kind of miss out on that. We kind of think like, oh, I gotta run errands today. Well, I'm going to pick out an outfit to run my errands in, and I'm going to make it fun. And so that's kind of what outfits are for me. But there's a really deep meaning to this because I feel like I can teach this to other women and teach them how to feel excited about small things. And when you start to feel excited about things that were once mundane, it's amazing how many doors you can open in your life, regardless of what it is that you want to do. In my world, it's teaching women how to build a business. In your world, it might be teaching people how to get healthy. And it's crazy when you start to find what you feel good in. It's not a matter of what matches or wearing neutrals, which is really popular right now, or the latest fashion trends. It's not about that to me. It's a matter of like feeling really good and confident in who I am so that I can do the next thing, so that I can, follow the steps that you're giving me in the protocol to getting healthier, so that I can go out there and start a business, so that I can become a speaker, so that I can walk into a room and feel like heads are turning because I am that BITCH, which you told me we're not allowed to cuss. So I won't be explicit here, but you get the picture. I just feel like it has so much power, and we overlook it. And so that's why it's super important to me. And I do feel like this idea of setting importance behind what we wear I'm just scratching the surface with it in my world, even though it's been a thing for coming up on a year, actually. I'm just scratching the surface, but I've already seen so many transformations, and that is like the most juiciest part of this entire thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. You and I were talking offline. I don't think I've ever shared this like with the audience, so I will, because I share everything here. For me, shopping has never been, I've gone through phases of like liking it, not liking it, and it's been heavily tied to how I feel in my body. Naturally, like there's nothing more uncomfortable for me than being in a dressing room and you have like 16 mirrors in every direction around you, and all the lights are on you, and all you can do is like stare at your body. And through my like own healing journey and like being in different body sizes, that dressing room was like the noisiest, ugliest place, because all the things that I already felt were like in every angle looking right back at me. Right. And so that, on top of like, and growing up, my mom like didn't love shopping. It wasn't a positive experience. Love you, Mom. But like, it wasn't great. She'll be honest about it. She'd be like, yeah, you're right. It wasn't great. So she just would get like this really like unhappy mood. Like I think pain was very painful for her to shop as well, like body wise. And so it just was like this whole thing. And so then you put that kind of like, I'll call it a trauma background. It's not real trauma, but it's like shopping trauma. Is that a thing? I don't know.
Probably.
And because of that, like the purpose of clothing wasn't really ironed out in my brain, right? It's just like something you wear in your body. But if you're uncomfortable in your body, like why do you want to wear, the things? And so add it all up. And for me, dressing, clothing, all that's been pretty uncomfortable through this process. And so when we were out at this retreat and she was like, fashion is a statement piece. It's like you and I already talked about my earrings, right? It was like the first thing you were like, I love those earrings. Like they're conversational pieces. They're part of your identity. And by the way, looking back, nobody knows the size you have in your clothing. And in fact, the most powerful thing for me was realizing that when I did buy the size bigger, when my body was the size bigger, that the clothes actually looked better on me and I looked thinner. Oh my God. But for me, it was such mind, chaos to be able to buy the piece of clothing that was a size bigger, because that was the only thing that my brain could see.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, if I could have just gotten over that and put the clothes on that fit and put some lipstick on, because I have 16 colors on my desk here, it's like, wow, I actually feel good in my body and I look a lot thinner when my clothes fit me better.
I have so much to say on this. Okay.
Me more.
So for those listening, when she said that our clothes are a statement piece, we actually had a speaker come in and talk to us about fashion. And that was part of the catapult into me infusing this topic into my business. However, I shout out to who she was and when she was speaking. She did a great job, but I actually have a different stance than she does on a lot of this. I would never say that your clothes are a statement piece or that what you wear is a conversation starter. I don't see it that way. Are they that? Maybe. But the thing is for me, this entire experience of what we quote unquote put on, and I mean earrings, lipstick, outfits, what you put on actually is the attitude that you put on. It's the swagger that you put on. It turns into this entire alter ego, if you will. And that has nothing to do with anyone else but yourself. Sure. And so when we talk about like a shopping experience, for example, I find that really interesting too, because remember the store Limited Too? Did you shop there? Okay. That was my favorite store. Loved everything in that store. And I remember my dad was taking me there. It must have been like a birthday or something, but he was like, you're going to pick something out, get whatever you want. And I was so excited. And I went into limited too. And it was like this crossing moment for me because I didn't fit into a single thing in the store anymore. And I remember I was a little girl and I was bawling in my dad's arms. Like, this is my favorite store and nothing fits anymore. It hurts so bad. But those are two separate experiences, is the shopping and the not fitting into the clothes, or as you mentioned, like trying to find something that made me appear thin versus stepping into this person where I wear red lipstick, I wear dangly earrings, I wear a jean jacket, and I didn't get that inspiration from anyone else but myself. I stepped into this outfit because that's how I'm going to show up on my podcast today. I know there's going to be a video and I'm going to kill it because of the way that I feel about myself. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's where I think as women, we try so hard to like follow the trends or fit into the clothes, like crop tops are in, or like, that whole thing. We went from low rise to high rise, which thank the Lord above.
Thank God. I mean, who looks good in low rise? Nobody.
They're trying to bring it back. And I'm like, I will not be doing that. That is not for me. But it's like we try to follow these trends. And I get it because sometimes that can be fun too. But at the same time, like, wear what you feel good in.
Yeah.
Wear what makes sense for you to feel lit up.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
If I'm really honest, I've been kind of casual on the podcast, but I was like, this morning, I was like, Chandler's coming on the podcast. Girlfriend's going to be made up. I need to show up. And honestly, like, I've had a great day because I'm like, I have this tube top dress on, which kind of makes me look nude if I take my jean jacket off. So I like have my, puff sleeve everything. Always.
I love that.
Always my vibe. But it's true. Like when you feel good in what you have on, right? I think as I'm listening to you say that, I'm like, wait a minute. So my identity is my vibe, right? And then who cares about the size, folks? Because it's just my identity. And it's like, thank you. That was transformative for me as I'm listening to you say that.
Yeah.
Really, it's like, actually, it's not about the clothing size. It's about my vibe.
100%. And it's like, this is directly relatable to actually what you do. Because if you had clients that came to you, you would not prescribe them the same protocol. You would not give every single person the same diet or the same habits. Not at all. So there is no possible way that every single woman or man that's listening to this can wear the same clothes or the same, I like to say whatever you put on.
Yeah.
And feel the same way. You just can't. But also, I'm sure there's a lot of your clients that have to go through and experiment with a lot of the wrong before they can find the right.
Yeah.
And that's what this is too. It's an entire journey. It's an entire experiment to finding what it is that allows you to just feel like you can take over the world with what you have on. That is the ultimate feeling. And it does take some time because you get caught up in, well, she's wearing this and that looks good on him or her. And maybe I should try that. But the thing is like this whole journey is fun to experiment with. Like we might look back and be like, why are my eyebrows so dark? Which I do that all the time. Actually, I'm like, why did I do that?
Well, mine I have to pencil in because
same.
So
they're like invisible.
No, I'm like, what happened to these guys? Why are they invisible? That's not. I think also as people are going through their like journeys of their own evolution, right? It's like, who am I? What if I don't know who I am? Or like, how do I move past it's so uncomfortable to be in my body in that dressing room. How do I get there? How do I get to a place where I can be excited about it when it's so painful for me to go through the exercise of buying the clothes, of figuring out my vibe? Also, by the way, side note, department stores are not what they used to be. I find it harder to shop, more easy. Like you have to go to multiple places. It's not as easy to like show up to a store. Maybe Nordstrom does this well actually, but like show up to a store and in that store find what you need. And for the shopper like me who walks into a sale rack or like a Costco, which is like just so overwhelming for my ADD brain. I mean, you might be able to relate to that a little bit. I've had conversations about that. I turn around and I leave. I turn around and I walk right out because I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overstimulated. I can't wrangle this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to actually throw a question back at you.
Please.
Which also, I'm obsessed with the way that you answer questions on your Instagram so consistently. Like, wow. I love that. I always tune in. I'm like, whenever she puts up a question box, this is about to get good. I love this. And some of the questions are hilarious, like really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I were a person in your question boxes and I said, it's really uncomfortable for me to eat whole foods and stay away from all the processed junk. There's way too much noise out there. I should be eating vegan. I should be eating organic. I should be, 100% grass-fed beef. I don't know. I get ADHD when I look at all of that and I want to just run in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But I want to feel good.
Yeah.
What would you say to that person?
Start slow. Ease in. Do what feels good and leave. Put the fork down, go back to what's comfortable, make a juice, whatever, like start slow. Is that what you're trying to tell me here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe I find a few items and like sit with them, rub them, sniff them, whatever.
Yeah. Like there's no prescription for this. Everyone's at a different point in their journey. And if you're a person that has never even tried to put yourself together, my first challenge would be put some mascara on.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 times this week.
Yeah.
If you're a person that does her makeup every single day and she just doesn't feel good in her clothes, I would tell you to go out and buy one pair of pants.
Yeah.
Which for me also, like, I don't even think I'm that different in this. I think all women struggle with this, but I'm curvy, I'm tall. It's hard for me to find pants. But I've actually become obsessed with the process of finding them.
How does your brain handle that? Okay, so like, all right, scenario, I'm in a dressing room. I've got 16 pairs of pants that I grabbed, call it however many. And you're like, I'm curvy. It's not as easy for me to like find, because who knows who these people are, who these companies cut their pants for. Right? I get frustrated when I'm like, it's me. I'm uncomfortable. I'm like trying to like squish my body into these things. How do you navigate that?
Yes. Okay. Good question. Because also for those listening, like Isabel and I, we went shopping when we were together and I just saw her like fall in love with this jumpsuit that she tried on and she ended up buying it in like 17 different colors. And I was like, dude, that's what this is all about. Like you just put it on and you're like, oh, this is it. This is the thing for me. So I would say that is a piece. Like I am not like a skinny pant or skinny jean type of gal. So you won't catch me trying on skinny jeans. I love like a wide-legged, high-waisted. It's just something I feel comfortable in. It's something I feel pretty in. And so I try on those things, but also when they don't fit, I've learned to like have this attitude of it's not me, it's the clothes. Like I have proof that I look good in these. It's not me, it's the clothes. Also, like I think this is a lesson in everything in life. Like I don't take myself too seriously. Like I don't take the experience so seriously. Like I'm like, haha, that looks ridiculous. I can't imagine these would look good on anyone. And I just move on. And there's a lot of times where like I'm not going in to go shopping because, well, first of all, like if I'm on my period or something, like you won't catch me at the mall.
No.
So it's also like knowing your body. Like I'm not going there when I don't already feel good about myself, period, pun intended. Like, you're just not.
It's true. So basically the lesson is I'm going to take you shopping with me every time I go.
Yes.
So when I'm like, well, you're like, haha, it's just the clothes. It's not you, Isabel. Keep rolling forward, right? Like just keep moving. Yeah, I think I just like, I feel myself in that dressing room, right? Like so emotionally attached to, okay, the first thing I try on, if it's like, it works, it looks good. Yay. Like now my mood and energy for the activity is really good. And then I if it goes the opposite way, like I can quickly get deterred.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, like, I say this from like a privileged, very privileged perspective, which I think has actually made it more difficult for me. For most of my life, it has been pretty easy for me to shop because I have fit into most
Mm-hmm.
stuff I have put on. So I think for me also, because it has been easy since I was about 12 years old, until I started going through all of this at 32 or 33. I haven't had trouble with like shopping with, right. It wasn't like it really that enjoyable, but like if I needed a pair of black pants, I knew exactly where I was going. I like walked right in, picked up the black pants, put them on. It worked. I left. That was it. That's like the kind of shopper I am. And so whereas like my sweet dear husband is a window freaking shopper. So he like likes to browse, likes to try things on. I'm like not. I'm like I'm in. I'm like I know what I want. Are you surprised about this? And I'm like out the door, right? So I think for me, it's been particularly uncomfortable because I'm coming from a place of previously, it was an easy process. Previously, I was in, I put things on, and I was done.
Mm-hmm.
So, not that having it forever be something that's like been like, you're like used to being like, whatever. I'm like, have to try on multiple clothes to find the ones that fit because that's just always been me. I think maybe that might have made it more comfortable for me if that had like always been the case, but because I was used to trying things on and it working and then me moving on, I think it was particularly painful.
Yeah. And I get that because so I obviously have an older sister and we're very much the same, but we're very much different. And I would say she used to hate going shopping and I've always loved shopping, but also like our roles have kind of reversed now. I like to shop online because I feel like I'm running so hard in my business that I don't have the time to go spend in a store. So now she uses the experience of going shopping as sort of like an escape. Like I don't, when I'm here and I'm shopping, I don't necessarily have to think about anything else. So that's kind of like her route.
Yep.
I say the method of shopping versus finding what lights you up with what you put on, they're two different conversations. And sometimes you're going to like shopping and sometimes you're not. But the whole thing, and I hate to keep reverting back to this, but imagine one of your clients comes to you and they say, I tried eating that apple that you told me to eat and it didn't work for me. So I would just like to forget about it. And the thing is like, it's the same thing with clothes. And at the end of the day, when you hit rock bottom, like when you're at that moment where you're like, I'm done feeling this way. I'm done feeling overweight. I'm done feeling ugly. I'm done feeling low confidence. I'm done feeling sluggish. When you really get to that moment, you are at a crossroads of a decision. You can either sulk and continue doing what you're doing, which is going to get you nowhere, or you can decide, I love myself too much to continue feeling this way. I'm going to get a little bit uncomfortable and I'm going to just continue pushing because I know that I care about myself enough to come out stronger on the other end. And I do think that what you wear, similarly to the way you move your body and the way that you eat, your nutrition, is a form of self-love. It's that deep.
Thanks, coach. I feel like I just got like a bench talk where I just like, what are you going to do? You're going to sit and sulk, or you're going to pick yourself up and you're going to dust yourself off and you're going to keep on moving. And I'm like, I just got parented. Thank you. Because that's not the kind of parenting I grew up with.
Yes, for sure.
No, it's true. Like, it's true. I think when you present it, it's like, well, like, what are your choices? Either you can sit with no clothes on, with a bag on and feel awful, or you can put on maybe a flowier dress than what you would usually put. Always put a belt on because looking like a waist makes you look like you have one, whether you do or don't. And you show up, right? Because you never know who you're going to meet and you never know like what opportunities are going to come your way. And if you make a situation for yourself where you're sitting by yourself, you're never going to meet anybody. And if you're out and about and feeling halfway decent, yeah, no, it's true. I mean, and I think it's definitely been an evolution for me and like very eye-opening. And I'm learning that I'm not alone in this process. And I've been posting. Did you notice that like in the last couple weeks I posted some more like clothing? So I posted last week.
Yes.
about the clothes that like has been the most comfortable for me in this healing process. And
I love that.
I was like, this is like totally new thought process for me. I was like, but maybe this sticks, or like throwing out the pile of clothes in my basement, which was, I literally filmed myself while I was doing it because I was actually doing it.
Well, that's another thing. I think if we have any business owners or like social media people listening in, add in your outfits to your social media strategy, because it's insane how much people, the whole vibe of showing up on social media, I think, is like, we overthink it all the time. Share your journey, share your freaking journey, period. And if you're sharing, like I shared a post recently. I did a speaking event last week and I was like, what outfit should I wear?
Love that dress, that jean dress.
Thank you. And it was crazy. Like, that one small little post created a small community within itself.
Yeah.
And it's like, show your outfits, ask people, what do you think I should wear here? Or, like, use this as a vessel toward building part of your business if you want, because honestly, it's allowing people to see themselves through you. And I think if you're struggling with your outfits, that's majority of people. Like, even myself, like, I have been obsessed with what I wear my entire life. I still struggle all the time, but I find it fun. Like, I've shifted that perspective, and I do the same thing with what I eat. Because I used to be a person that always had stomach aches all the time. No matter what I ate, I had a stomach ache. I went on a decade long journey of trying to figure it out. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, ooh, this is fun. Like, I could try that celery juice. And I know that I'm going to have to try it for a couple months before I can decide how I feel. And so every single journey is so, we cross so much in all of these different things. And I swear, it's just like, how much do you care about yourself at the end of the day? Because as you said, like, you could step into a room and you could meet all these people, and you would have that same experience if you continue wearing the same outfit that you always wear, but maybe you won't feel as outgoing to go shake someone's hand that could ultimately change the trajectory of something that you're going after. And that's all that it is. That's all that it is at the end of the day.
So can you help me plan my outfits more often?
Yeah. Can you just text me some things? Because I love talking about this. Like, that's so fun.
I'm like, so that retreat, what am I going to wear? Because the last one, I was just like overwhelmed and exhausted, and I just threw like gym clothes in a bag, and like, I didn't feel as good as I like could have felt. Right. So, it's funny. I'm like a last minute outfit planner because it depends on how I feel in the day. And like, I do the best when I have like all of and I'm like a pretty like planned, organized person in general, except for with this stuff. I like day of often like need to like put my things together or like trial them out. So I tend to actually do better, especially like in the last couple of years with this like weird body stuff and all that, with like not having everything like planned and done. So, it's just, I've never felt it more important than I do now, because it literally, especially when you don't feel great in your body, I think it's even more important, right? Because I think the way we carry ourselves differently, we need the positive vibes of like having an outfit that we feel confident in to really help us put one foot in front of the other. I've decided. Not that it wasn't important. I actually, fun fact, won best dressed in high school.
Hell yeah. Oh, sorry. Heck yes.
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to avoid F-bombs on here because I want to stay clean so more people can listen.
Clean.
I won best dressed in high school, but I was at the time like a string bean. And so everything looked good and everything felt good. And it was like not even like a thing. Right. And then we all get in our own heads, right? As like our bodies develop and whatever. And so anyway, as I'm here rambling about this, clearly like this definitely brings up stuff for me, even like still. And as I'm in and out of treatment for Lyme, my body size and shape changes. And so like what feels good today doesn't feel good tomorrow or yesterday, and sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, look at that. I look great. I look, and I think I have to change my own language, which is like not being like, you look good today, right? Being like, how do you feel today?
Yes. That's exactly the key. I also, one of the tips that I give to my clients is because a lot of people, like you mentioned, like they don't know where to start. They're like, where do I start with trying to look better? And my question, the first question that comes is like, what are you trying to cultivate with this outfit? Like, what are you trying to not portray, because that's not what matters, but you're cultivating a sense of energy through everything that you put on your body. And sometimes you want to just wear a double XL shirt and double XL pants. Like I have the craziest outfit on right now, but I wanted to cultivate like a sense of chill vibes for this podcast. Because first of all, I like, I listen to your podcast, like it's chill. Like I'm not coming in here like, fashion, you know? And so it's like, I wanted to wear just like this t-shirt. Like I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to feel like I could talk and be myself and have conversation and be laid back. But if I'm on stage speaking, I'm wearing a total denim dress and cowgirl boots. And that is like that's total different cultivation. And so I think that's the question is like, what am I trying to cultivate today for myself? Like, how do I want to feel? How do I want to show up? And what type of energy is this going to bring me? If we're at a retreat in New York City and I'm sitting on the couch and I'm learning, I'm probably going to wear like a matching athleisure set so that I can still feel like I'm put together. But if I'm sitting, like my rolls are going to be out, like I want to just be chilling, you know, like I don't want to be too uncomfortable. I don't want jean buttons to be like digging into me. And I'm like, holy crap, I have to unbutton these. Like it's a whole thought process.
Yeah.
But all that matters is, like you said, like all that matters is like, how am I going to feel? What type of energy is this going to bring me? And I think it is interesting listening to you, like, because a couple times you've mentioned like the experiences you've had in the past when it comes to your clothes. And I'm sure that for people listening, that's super relatable. Like, well, I don't even want to have this conversation, or maybe I don't even want to listen to this podcast because I've been burned in the past by trying to look skinny, by trying to fit the mold of what I'm supposed to wear, by noticing that I'm now a grown woman and my body is different than when I won best dressed in high school. And man, first of all, I commend you for being vulnerable and sharing that, because I think that is so powerful. But also, you're beautiful. You're so beautiful. And it's not because of the way that you look. It's not because of your body shape. It's because you are this powerful woman who cares so much about helping other people, about making this impact. So why on earth play small and allow yourself to not be seen? Step into this new person that is like, I am Isabel. Listen to me. And they already do. Like they already do. Imagine like doing this one level up.
Yeah.
But anyway, not to get.
It's gonna make me cry like on my own podcast.
I just love you. I love you so much.
Me too. No, it's true. It's just, you know, it's like super painful stuff. That's like, and I think for me, like right now, like I'm pushing myself in so many like uncomfortable corners, from like leadership to hard conversations to like not reacting to like all of these things. Right. And I think the most helpful thing I can continue to do for myself is be like, this is just a new skill set that I have not learned yet. Right. So leadership, fashion, dressing myself, like this, all these things you and I are talking about is so different mindset for me with clothing. And like, I'm like, oh, that is such a different perspective that I never thought about, which is ultimately, and I say this to my clients all the time, not in any of these realms that you and I are talking about right now, but well, we talk about like what people put on. Sometimes I'm like, you know, whatever, but not like this. And it's just like, oh, that's a different way of thinking about it. And I think the different ways of thinking about it allow us to have an easier time, I think, evolving into things that are uncomfortable, right? For me, very much leadership. I have a team of 8 people, right? There's like a lot of new skills that I'm learning as a leader. New skills as a human who's learning how to dress themselves in a more compassionate way, in a way that feels more authentic, in a way that allows me to show up, you know, happier, more present, even more put together than I feel like. I'm like a pretty put together human being generally. But it's like, doesn't matter. Like my clients always like see a version of me, but it's more like, what am I feeling internally? Right. And I think that's the most important thing. So you're just magic. And thank you for your perspectives and your love and your coaching. I got coached today, Coach Chandler. How can our listeners, our family, our podcast family, how can the podcast family find you, listen to you, see you, work with you? How can we make that happen?
Yeah, I would love to connect with you guys. So my Instagram, my TikTok, YouTube, all the things are the same username, handle, whatever the kids are saying these days. And it's at Chandler Lee, Lee Co. That's my business name. And then I would love to leave you guys with a little download, which is what I call Unleash Her. And inside of this download, it's going to give you, I think there's like 3 or 5 outfit inspirations. And so I take these things from Pinterest and I help you put together an outfit with things that you already have in your closet. And so the whole goal is to just quote unquote, try it on. And I think that's our tagline for this whole conversation is like, just try it on. Just try it. And, similarly with shout out to all of Isabel's clients and all the hard work that you guys are putting in, like you're trying on all these different ways to basically just live a healthier, more fulfilled, better life. And, clothes they can be such a superficial thing, or they can be this thing that is like your gasoline to get you to that next step in your life.
I love that. And I'm going to take all of the coaching that I got here today that you guys have witnessed to and practice in my own life, because like this stuff isn't easy for me either. As you can hear, I'm like talking about it very openly. And so like we're all learning and we're all evolving. But Chandler, love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Dude, I love you so much.
Hoodie. Make sure you download it. I'm going to go download it too because I don't have it. And we'll see you right here next time on the Wellfuel Podcast. Thanks, guys. As always, thanks so much for listening to the Wellfuel Podcast. We're so happy to have you. To make sure you don't miss a beat, please subscribe either on Apple or Spotify because we have episodes dropping once or more a week with tons of great content. If you want to make sure that you're up to date on everything we're doing in the business with our clients and new offers and all the things, make sure that you check us out at Isabel Smith Nutrition on Instagram and isabelsmithnutrition.com. See you guys soon.